Have you ever had this experience? Once you reach your early 60s, blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, memory, immunity, it suddenly feels like health problems don't come one by one anymore, but start showing up all at once. Are these really separate diseases? Or are they different expressions of one shared underlying problem? Today on Fact and Truth, we're going to explore the medical and scientific reason why multiple diseases tend to begin at the same time around our 60s, from the perspective of homeostasis. Let me start with the conclusion. Most health problems that appear around the age of 60 are not separate, unrelated diseases. They are the result of one system breaking down, revealing itself across multiple organs. In medicine, this phenomenon is called multimorbidity. Conditions like hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and even dementia do not occur together by coincidence. They often emerge from the same underlying physiological breakdown. And the shared root cause is the collapse of the body's homeostatic system. Homeostasis is not simply about having normal numbers on a lab report. It is the body's ability to return to balance after stress. When we are younger, we can stay up all night and recover, or overeat for a few days and return to normal fairly quickly. But around our 60s, this resilience itself declines. In other words, it's not that disease suddenly appears first. The system that used to protect us from disease breaks down first. Around the age of 60, homeostasis tends to deteriorate simultaneously across four major axes. Loss of muscle mass, increased insulin resistance, fatty liver, visceral fat, leading to diabetes, dyslipidemia, and metabolic syndrome. Immune aging and chronic low-grade inflammation, increasing the risk of cancer, recurrent infections, and inflammatory diseases. Sympathetic overactivation, disrupted sleep, unstable blood pressure, and heart rhythm, leading to hypertension, heart disease, insomnia, and depression. Reduced cerebral blood flow, increased neuroinflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction, resulting in memory decline and higher dementia risk. These four axes are interconnected. When one begins to fail, the others are pulled into instability as well. In our 40s and 50s, even if one axis weakens, the others can often compensate. But around the early 60s, the buffering capacity of metabolic, immune, neural, and brain systems declines at the same time. That's why diseases appear almost as if they were coordinated, emerging during the same period rather than separately. This is also why the strategy of treating just one disease often becomes ineffective after this age. Diseases that appear around 60 do not happen simply because of aging. They happen because the homeostatic system has collapsed. And here's the most important point. Homeostasis must be managed before disease is diagnosed, not after. What we are really seeing in our 60s is not a single disease, but fatigue and breakdown of the entire regulatory system. So the solution is not about asking, what disease should we fix? The real question is, how do we help the body regain and sustain balance? From this perspective, Korean wild ginseng-derived Ginsenosides, RB2, RE, and RG3, can be understood as molecular modulators that support homeostatic stability. Ginsenoside RB2 has been linked to pathways involved in insulin sensitivity, lipid metabolism, and energy balance. Rather than forcing blood sugar down, it helps buffer metabolic instability from worsening. Ginsenoside RE has accumulated preclinical and foundational research related to endothelial function, oxidative stress regulation, and circulatory stability. Its role is not to artificially lower blood pressure, but to help the vascular and nervous systems become less vulnerable to stress. Ginsenoside RG3 is one of the most extensively studied ginsenosides in terms of excessive inflammatory responses and immune signaling imbalance. The key point is not boosting immunity, but helping the immune system activate when needed and shut off when it's done. RB2, RE, and RG3 do not aggressively stimulate the body's systems. Instead, they can be understood as supportive stabilizers for metabolism, vascular function, and immunity, the core axis of homeostasis. What Fact and Truth focuses on is not individual ingredients alone, but the perspective of viewing the entire homeostatic system. In the next episode, we'll explore how homeostatic collapse creates a dangerous situation where lab numbers look normal, but the body is already failing. What we call the trap of normal ranges. Speaking about health through science, this has been Fact and Truth.